When we're connected to why, really, really viscerally connected to why, how reveals itself. Let me say that again. The more connected we are to the why, who benefits if this project thrives? Who benefits if this thing really sings? What's the benefit to the bigger field of consciousness, the bigger field of the earth, the bigger field of the cosmos, the bigger field of sentient awareness throughout all universes? When we're connected to that, then we naturally get intuitive impulses about call so-and-so, open that book to that page, go down to that marketplace and see that person at their stall where they're selling their wares and ask them a few questions. We get these intuitive prompts, and the more practice we have, the more clearly we recognize what to do and when. But the number one for getting clear is being connected to why. So much of our suffering around our projects, our creative ideas, our moving into new chapters of life that we know is really timely and important, the getting stuck is when we get stuck in how do I do this, how do I do this, how do I do this? What's happening when we're looking at how is we're looking over our shoulder at old versions of ourselves, very narrow experiences or narrow perspectives on what we were experiencing back then. And we're unknowingly using the limits of what we could perceive back then in our past to tell us what we can do here and now, let alone in the future. Take a big deep breath through your whole body, and as you exhale, let go like you're setting down a heavy burden through your whole body. Inhale deeply, let go on the exhale. Let's do 4 more of those together, and if you're feeling a little resistance, breathe even deeper. Here we go, 4 more. Now, if you did all 5 breaths, you're likely to feel a bit of a buzz or tingling or humming through your body. That's energy. That's energy. So when you're really, really stuck, start with some stronger, deeper breathing. In through the nose, out through the nose is fine, but generally we need to get moving energy a little faster, so I'm going to say in through the nose, out through the mouth. And strengthen and deepen those inhales. Breath moves energy. When we feel stuck, when we're caught in our mind, when we're worrying, when we're fretting, check in with your breathing. It's generally very, very shallow. When you're really, really inspired, when you're really connected, when you're really tapped in and tuned in and turned on, how is the breath moving? Freely, fully, and naturally. Big, full breaths, but you're not having to work at it. So when we're feeling low energy, when we're feeling stuck, when we're feeling caught in our thinking mind, when we're caught in the past, take deep breaths right away. Soften the hands and feet like you're opening closed fists with your mind and breathe deeply. Once you begin to feel a shift in your body, then you can ask yourself, why does this matter? Who gets to benefit, or what could this benefit? What benefit could be brought into the world by this energy thriving, by this project growing? Let's recap where we've been so far. When we're low energy, the breath is shallow. The posture might even be turned inwards, the spine caved in, the heart closed around itself from the shoulders. And we just don't know what to do next. And we're like, what to do, how, Googling, trying to strategize, feeling frustrated and tired. When we're energized, when we're fueled, we're connected to how our full participation with the universe in this project, in this relationship, in this task, shares a beneficial energy out in the field for everyone to benefit from. And then the how becomes intuitively obvious. So when we're lost and confused, and we all get there in different projects, energize, breathe deeply, soften the body on the exhales, stay with it. If you got to do it for 5 minutes, great. You got to do it for 10 minutes, you're worth it, and so is the impact on humanity valuable. So then once you're feeling energized, really energized, you're connected to your why, Like I'm preparing to launch a podcast. I'm so energized. There's a lot of things I don't know about it, tons of things I don't know about it because I've never launched a podcast. I'm so lit up by the why. I can hear the interviews. I can feel the impact of listeners being inspired, being connected to tools and resources, being lit up in their own lives and making a difference. And that gives me more fuel to give them more fuel, which gives me more fuel, which gives them more fuel. And it's this infinite, like a figure eight on its side, infinitely giving, and abundantly growing. And then I just get quiet, as you will when you're energized. Then you get quiet, you stay connected to your why, and you ask key questions. And the more you do this, you'll have clarity on which best key questions work well for you, depending on the type of the project, and so on. So what's the next step? What's the next most obvious step? That's a simple question you can start to practice. What's the next most obvious step? It will be intuitively obvious. The following step might not yet be until you take that first step. So you take the step wholeheartedly, with love, connected to your why, connected to how you're choosing to make your life an offering for the highest good. And then you'll ask, what's the next step? And as you get more practice with this, the steps will intuitively start to unfold more elegantly and efficiently within your own awareness. Quickly, easily. So connect to your why. Your why, more than your strategy for how to get there, how to get the thing achieved. Why are you hoping to achieve this outcome? What's the benefit? Who gets to benefit? Can you feel it as though it's already so, and let that energize you? And as you're energized, then the clarity comes about the steps to take. We're going to leave it here. This is a shorter video. If you really want to understand these processes more deeply, I highly encourage you to explore my Thriving Life Blueprint course. It's 8 modules. It's all pre-recorded. It's ready for you. A number of other people around the world have already been through it to great success, and you could be one of them. Once you purchase the course, you own it for life, and I recommend with all of my materials watching it many times because you're going to hear new things. It's going to go deeper, and the energy behind the words is also going to go deeper each time you engage. So there's practical exercises, there's guided meditations, there's tools and tips about how to move from an inspiration to the completion of something and the celebration. It's all in there. So I'll put a link here just below in the comment box, the caption box. If you've got any questions, you can put them below. But the main thing is, please do some practice with what I'm suggesting, these simple practices, for a few days before placing your questions. Often, a lot of the questions, if you're not yet practicing with the breath, practicing living energized, practicing connecting deeply to your why does this matter? And the why has got to be benefiting more people than you. Then it's going to fuel you. If it's just about you feeling safe or comfortable, that's not an energy source. So when you're practicing, your questions are going to be coming from a place of connection, and you're going to be more coachable. If you're not fueled, your questions are going to be coming from the old thinking mind, and there's not much I can say of value that will make any difference other than, hey, rewatch the video and do the practices with your breath and connecting to the feeling of the why. And you want to practice this with lots of things. Lots and lots of things. This is really opening into a deeper generosity that actually fuels and gives to you profoundly. So you don't lose anything in this generosity of understanding that the why benefits as many beings or sentient awarenesses in the universe as possible. You win. You win. We all win. So go for it and let me know how it's going.